Hello, this is Fred Kusamoto, and I am just so honored to have Jen Silva with us here today. Jen, you're one of our pace setters. Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate your interaction and the work that you have been doing through this. And I would like you, if you could just take a moment for the people who don't know who you are, just to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. So first of all, thanks for having me. As you said, my name is Jennifer Silva. I'm a pediatric electrophysiologist here at Washington University in St. Louis. This is our virtual background behind us right here of our institution. It was an absolute pleasure to participate with the other pace setters this year. And it was so great to be able to be at HRS and to share what we were learning with our community in general.
Yeah, wasn't that great to be able to actually be together and meet each other three-dimensionally as opposed to now on a Zoom conference two-dimensionally? But at least for a moment, we got to see each other and, just really share the fact that, we're all social people, and it really is just special to get together in person. Well, let's get to business. Obviously, as a pediatric electrophysiologist, I'd kind of like to get your insights. What sort of was the session that you really thought was incredibly important and valuable at HRS this past year?
There were lots of really wonderful sessions this year, and it was great, as you said, to be on campus and see everybody. I think the session that I thought was the most important and that will be the most important for my personal practice moving forward was the release of the guidelines document for the pediatric implantable devices. That document was presented Thursday morning, I believe, and I think it's going to be one of those foundational and fundamental documents for those of us who take care of pediatric patients who may or may not meet indications for a pacemaker, defibrillator, or loop recorder.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. As the chair of the bradycardia and conduction disorders guideline, I can tell you we had no interest in taking care of patients or providing information on patients who are under 18 years of age. So this is a sort of document that is so valuable, and it really shows how important PACES and actually the relationship between PACES and HRS is. Been so many documents that have been put together, really led by PACES and then published jointly with HRS, which have been incredibly valuable over the years, and that's going to be so important moving forward. Tell me, what was different about this document with regards to using implantable devices in children?
Those are all great points. So instead of the usual kind of guidelines documents where, as you mentioned, the pediatric section gets relegated to a small section in which we really can't get into the nuanced care of pediatric patients, this entire document is focused around the heterogeneity and diversity that we see in our pediatric patients. And so when we talk about the guidelines for pacemakers or defibrillators, you won't see a single table summarizing that. What you'll get are substrate-specific guidelines. So for instance, in the indications for ICD, you'll get a list or a table for indications in patients with long QT syndrome, different from our indications for patients with dilated cardiomyopathy, different from CPVT. And that kind of nuanced and really very tailored thinking for not just the substrate, but then of course we have to take into account patient size, habitus, access, all of those pieces. They all factored into this document. And I think that's so incredibly unique. It's something that we can all be really proud of and is really going to help that shared decision-making that we do with our patients and their families, of course, by saying this is not just my opinion, but here's what the expert consensus is for taking care of a child with this substrate who has these symptoms.
Yeah, I love that individualized sort of approach. And actually, I wish our adult electrophysiologists would often take that approach with our patients too, because as you point out, there are so many issues, but even more so in kids, because again, you don't have the benefit of large trials, et cetera, to really, hone in with some evidence. There is a lot of instinct and expert opinion that is absolutely necessary. Well, Jen, it was really wonderful talking with you here today. And I hear that you're going to do a commentary for Heart Rhythm O2 on this guidelines document. And I can't wait to really see this. And, this discussion here really emphasizes how tied PACES and HRS are as society. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.